Hello, everyone, and welcome back English channel.
Hi, Emily, and a big hello to all our amazing listeners out there.
We're so happy to have you join us again today. Before we dive into our topic, we have a little request for you, our wonderful audience.
That's right. If you're enjoying our podcasts and finding them helpful in your English learning journey, please take a moment to share them with your friends who are also learning English.
And if you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any of our future episodes packed with tips and tricks to improve your English.
Oh, and don't forget to hit that like button. It really helps us reach more learners like you.
All right, Paul, are you ready to tell everyone what exciting topic we have for them today?
Absolutely, Emily. Today, we're going to talk about something that's on the minds of many English learners: how to speak English fluently and confidently.
That's a fantastic topic, Paul. Fluency and confidence are key goals for anyone learning a new language, especially English, which is so widely spoken around the world.
Exactly. Many learners can understand a lot of English when they read or listen, but when it comes to speaking, they sometimes feel stuck or nervous. So, let's explore some practical ways to break through those barriers and start speaking more smoothly and with more assurance.
I think that's something many of our listeners can relate to. So, where should we start, Paul? What's the first step towards speaking English fluently and confidently?
Well, Emily, the very first thing I'd say is don't be afraid to make mistakes. It sounds simple, but it's so important. Many people are hesitant to speak because they worry about saying something wrong or sounding silly.
That's so true. It's like there's this fear of imperfection that holds people back. But the truth is, making mistakes is a natural and essential part of learning.
Precisely. Think about babies learning to talk. They make all sorts of funny sounds and grammatical errors, but that's how they eventually learn to speak fluently. It's the same with learning English. Every mistake is a learning opportunity.
So the key is to shift our perspective on mistakes. Instead of seeing them as failures, we should see them as feedback that helps us improve.
Exactly. And remember, most people you'll talk to, especially native English speakers, are usually very understanding and supportive of language learners. They appreciate your effort to communicate in English.
That's a great point, Paul. So, step number 1, embrace mistakes as part of the learning process. What's next on our list?
Step number 2 is all about practice, practice, practice. You've probably heard the saying, practice makes perfect, and it's definitely true when it comes to speaking English.
Absolutely. You can study grammar rules and vocabulary all day long, but if you don't actually open your mouth and speak, you won't improve your fluency.
Exactly. Think of speaking English like riding a bicycle. You can read all the books about it, but you won't learn until you actually get on the bike and start pedaling, even if you wobble a bit at first.
So how can our listeners incorporate more speaking practice into their daily routines?
There are lots of ways. One simple thing is to talk to yourself in English. You can describe what you're doing, what you're thinking, or plan your day out loud. It might feel a bit strange at first, but it's a great way to practice forming sentences without any pressure.
That's a clever idea. It's like having a conversation partner who's always available and never judges you.
Exactly. Another great way to practice is to find a language exchange partner. There are many websites and apps where you can connect with native English speakers who are learning your language. You can chat with them regularly, helping each other improve.
That's a fantastic way to get real-life conversation practice and also learn about different cultures.
Absolutely. And don't forget the power of simply speaking out loud when you're studying. Read English texts aloud. Repeat phrases you hear in movies or podcasts, and try to mimic the pronunciation and intonation.
That's a great way to improve your pronunciation and get your mouth used to forming English sounds.
Exactly. The more you practice speaking, the more comfortable and confident you'll become.
So we've got embrace mistakes and practice regularly. What's the third tip for our listeners?
Tip number 3 is to expand your vocabulary. The more words and phrases you know, the easier it will be to express yourself fluently.
That makes perfect sense. If you're constantly searching for the right word, it can really interrupt the flow of your speech.
Absolutely. So make a conscious effort to learn new words and phrases every day. Keep a vocabulary notebook, use flashcards, or try language learning apps.
And it's not just about memorizing words, right? It's also important to learn how to use them correctly in sentences.
Exactly. Pay attention to how native speakers use new words in context. Read English books, articles, and listen to podcasts and conversations. This will help you understand the nuances of meaning and how to use words naturally.
Another great way to expand your vocabulary is to learn synonyms and related words. This gives you more options for expressing the same idea.
That's a fantastic tip, Emily. Instead of just learning one word, try to learn a few different ways to say the same thing. This will make your English sound more natural and fluent.
So, our first 3 tips are: don't be afraid to make mistakes, practice speaking regularly, and expand your vocabulary. What's next, Paul?
Tip number 4 is to learn and study phrases, not just individual words. Fluency is about being able to speak in whole sentences without too much hesitation.
That's a really important point. Sometimes learners focus too much on individual words and then struggle to put them together into natural-sounding sentences.
Exactly. Native speakers often use set phrases and expressions in their daily conversations. Learning these chunks of language can really boost your fluency.
Can you give us some examples of common phrases that learners should focus on?
Sure. Things like "how's it going?" "What's up?" "Nice to meet you." "See you later." "Thank you very much." "You're welcome." "Excuse me." "I'm sorry." And so on. These are used all the time in everyday English.
And it's not just greetings and polite phrases, right? There are also phrases for expressing opinions, agreeing, disagreeing, asking for clarification, etc.
Absolutely. Learning phrases like "I think," "in my opinion," "I agree with you," "I don't agree," "could you please repeat that," "what do you mean," can really help you participate more actively in conversations.
So, instead of just learning the word opinion, you should also learn the phrase, "in my opinion."
Exactly. It helps you speak in complete thoughts more easily.
Okay, so we've covered embracing mistakes, practicing regularly, expanding vocabulary, and learning phrases. What's tip number 5?
Tip number 5 is to think in English. This is a bit more challenging, but it's a crucial step towards fluency.
Thinking in your native language and then translating it into English can slow you down and make your English sound less natural.
Exactly. The goal is to bypass that translation process and start thinking directly in English.
How can learners start doing that? It sounds a bit abstract.
It takes time and practice, but you can start small. When you see an object, try to think of its English name instead of the name in your native language. When you have a thought, Try to formulate it in English in your head.
So if I see a dog, instead of thinking the Portuguese word cachorro, I should immediately think dog.
Exactly. You can also try to narrate your day in English in your mind. What are you doing? What are you planning to do?
That's like the talking to yourself tip, but it's all happening inside your head.
Precisely. And as your vocabulary and understanding of grammar improve, you'll be able to think in more complex sentences.
It sounds like it requires a lot of conscious effort at first.
It does, but with consistent practice, it becomes more automatic. Thinking in English helps you react more quickly in conversations and makes your speech flow more naturally.
Okay, that's a great tip. So we're now at thinking in English. What's next on our list?
Tip number 6 is to immerse yourself in English. This means surrounding yourself with the language as much as possible.
That makes a lot of sense. The more you're exposed to English, the more you'll absorb it naturally.
Exactly. Change the language settings on your phone and computer to English. Watch English movies and TV shows with subtitles, at least initially. Listen to English music and podcasts.
And it's not just about passive listening, right? It's also about actively engaging with the content.
Absolutely. Pay attention to the vocabulary, grammar, and pronunciation. Try to understand the context and how the language is used.
Reading in English is also a great way to immerse yourself.
Definitely. Read English books, newspapers, magazines, and websites. Choose materials that are at your level and gradually challenge yourself with more complex texts.
Even simple things like reading English song lyrics or following English-speaking social media accounts can help.
Absolutely. The key is to make English a part of your daily life, not just something you study for a few hours a week.
So, immersion is all about creating an English-speaking environment around you. What's tip number 7, Paul?
Tip number 7 is to talk to yourself out loud. We touched on this earlier, but it's worth emphasizing.
Yes, it might feel a bit strange at first, but it's a really effective way to practice speaking without the pressure of talking to someone else.
Exactly. You can practice forming sentences, trying out new vocabulary, and working on your pronunciation. You don't have to worry about making mistakes or feeling embarrassed.
And you can do it anywhere, in the shower, while you're cooking, or even when you're walking alone.
Precisely. Describe what you're doing, what you're seeing, or what you're planning. You can also role-play conversations you might have in the future.
That's a great way to prepare for real-life interactions. For example, if you know you're going to a restaurant, you can practice ordering food in English.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to have imaginary conversations with your favorite English-speaking actors or characters. It might sound silly, but it can be a fun and effective way to practice.
The important thing is to get your mouth moving and get used to speaking English.
Absolutely. The more you hear yourself speaking English, the more natural it will feel.
Okay, so we've got talking to yourself out loud. What's tip number 8?
Tip number 8 is to focus on fluency over perfection, especially when you're just starting out.
This is a really important point. Many learners get so caught up in trying to be grammatically perfect that they become afraid to speak at all.
Exactly. The goal of communication is to convey your message. It's okay to make some grammatical errors or mispronounce a word here and there, as long as people can understand you.
Fluency is about the smooth flow of your speech, even if it's not 100% perfect.
Precisely. Don't let the fear of making mistakes paralyze you. It's better to speak and make some errors than to not speak at all.
As you become more fluent, you can gradually focus more on accuracy.
Exactly. Think of it like building a house. You need a strong foundation first, fluency, and then you can focus on the details and decorations, accuracy.
So the key is to prioritize getting your message across and not worry too much about minor errors in the beginning.
Absolutely. Confidence comes from being able to communicate effectively, even if your English isn't flawless.
Okay, that's a really encouraging tip. So we're focusing on fluency over perfection. What's next, Paul?
Tip number 9 is to work on your pronunciation. Clear pronunciation can significantly boost your confidence when speaking English.
Absolutely. If you're worried that people won't understand you because of your pronunciation, it can make you very hesitant to speak.
Exactly. While having a perfect native accent isn't necessary, clear pronunciation will make it easier for others to understand you and will also make you feel more confident.
So how can learners improve their pronunciation?
There are many resources available. You can listen to native English speakers carefully and try to mimic their sounds and intonation. There are also online pronunciation guides and apps that can help you with specific sounds.
Watching English movies and TV shows and paying attention to how the actors pronounce words can also be helpful.
Definitely. And don't be afraid to record yourself speaking and compare it to a native speaker. It can be a bit uncomfortable to hear your own voice, but it's a great way to identify areas for improvement.
Another helpful technique is to focus on individual sounds that you find difficult. Break down words into their component sounds and practice saying them slowly and clearly.
Exactly. And pay attention to stress and intonation. In English, the way you stress certain syllables in a word and the way your voice rises and falls in a sentence can significantly affect the meaning and how natural you sound.
So, pronunciation is not just about saying the individual sounds correctly, but also about the rhythm and melody of the language.
Precisely. Working on your pronunciation will not only make you easier to understand, but will also give you a big boost in confidence.
Okay, so we've covered working on pronunciation. What's our final tip for speaking English fluently and confidently?
Our final tip, number 10, is to simply start speaking English as much as possible.
It sounds obvious, but it really brings everything together, doesn't it?
Absolutely. All the tips we've discussed, embracing mistakes, practicing, expanding vocabulary, learning phrases, thinking in English, immersing yourself, talking to yourself, focusing on fluency, and improving pronunciation, they all lead to this one crucial action: speaking.
The more you speak, the more comfortable and confident you'll become. It's a virtuous cycle.
Exactly. Don't wait until you feel ready to start speaking. The best way to become ready is by actually doing it.
Find opportunities to speak English, whether it's with language exchange partners, in online forums, or even just ordering a coffee in English if you have the chance.
Every time you speak, you're building your confidence and improving your fluency. It might feel challenging at first, but with consistent effort, you'll see significant progress.
And remember, everyone starts somewhere. Even native English speakers had to learn how to speak as children. Be patient with yourself and celebrate your progress along the way.
Absolutely, Emily. Learning a language is a journey, and every step you take, Every word you speak brings you closer to your goal of fluency and confidence.
So, to recap our 10 tips for speaking English fluently and confidently.
Don't be afraid to make mistakes.
Practice speaking regularly.
Expand your vocabulary.
4. Learn and study phrases.
Think in English.
Immerse yourself in English.
Talk to yourself out loud.
Focus on fluency over perfection.
Work on your pronunciation.
Start speaking English as much as possible.
We hope these tips are helpful for all our listeners who are working towards speaking English fluently and confidently. Remember, it takes time and effort, but with consistent practice and a positive attitude, you can achieve your goals.
Absolutely, Paul. And we're here to support you on your English learning journey.
That's right. And now, before we wrap up, we have one last request for our wonderful audience.
If you found this episode helpful, please subscribe to Mr. English channel for more tips and lessons to improve your English.
And don't forget to share this episode with anyone you know who is also learning English. The more, the merrier.
And we'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below telling us which of these tips you found most helpful, or if you have any other strategies that have worked for you.
Thanks for tuning in to Mr. English Channel. Keep practicing, stay confident, and we'll catch you in the next episode.
Bye for now.
See you later.